Never before in history have we had a time where we can actually reach 1 million people like that. And so it becomes, my question to you tonight is, are you really using it? So you're in the right place. If you have a message the world needs to know, you're ready to impact with that message. You want to leave a legacy. You want to live your mission. And so each of us, obviously, you know, we were born, we were raised, we were put on this planet for a purpose. And it's funny, it took me till I was 40 till I realized what my mission and purpose was. And it is really to take the change agents of the planet and help to get your message known. And you want to unlock the secrets of being able to do what you love. And they are, play a bigger game, attract your ideal client, be prepared, reach millions, and launch your vision. So I'm going to go through each of these steps. Now, before I do, though, I want to tell you why I'm so incredibly passionate about this particular topic. It comes down to this. When I was 19 years old, I was graduating from college with a degree in IT, and I started a software company. So I was going into a field that was very much predominantly men. It really has been one of my focuses is to be a leader among women and to help assist them to break down barriers. And so that was one of the first ones that I did back in 1985. And so upon doing that, I then journeyed, and by the time I was 24 years old, I'd already made my first $1 million. I had already started to develop and create software products for government agencies, national banks, a lottery corporation, and Fortune 100 companies. When the internet was born in 1994, I was already developing software products for that were distributed worldwide. And I started to develop websites for my clients. So it was an awesome, lovely journey, but of course that did not come without its barriers. And some of the barriers that I hit were also by the time I was 24 years old. I had my partner / ex-fiance leave me at the altar. I married on the rebound and to a not so perfect match for me, and within that year we were already getting divorced. And the interesting part about that is all of a sudden the wife wanted me away from the business partner / ex-fiance, and so they changed the locks on the company and they froze my credit cards. At that same time, my husband emptied the bank accounts, emptied the house, and canceled my credit cards. Wow. So needless to say, I was now moving back home with my parents. And a lot of times I'm asked, you know, how did you survive that? How did you not want to just roll up in a ball and say, this is crazy, I'm not doing this anymore? And the truth is, at the time, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I just wanted to check it out. I'm done, that was great. But here's what I knew at that time as well. And that was, I have a mission and a purpose. And that was to leverage my ability to use technology and my marketing to help, in particular, change agents and women break barriers. And so I got up and I took out a loan and I bought out my business partner who had already taken the company into $100,000 worth of debt. And I took out another loan to get my husband away from me. Because here's what I knew, and that was, if I was silenced, other people would be too. And that was not something that I could live with. Because when you know that your mission is bigger than yourself, getting up is the easy part. So that's exactly what I started to do. So I went and got myself on television, and I started to create and build back the company. And then in 2006, I went all in on internet marketing and I moved from Toronto, Canada to California, and really started a whole new life down here. Because as I was chasing the American dream, and I realized at the time, this is truly where it had to happen. E-commerce and the internet was too conservative, and it was not happening up in Canada. It does now, but we're going back a ways, right? And so I came down here to chase the American dream. And within a few short months, I had written a book called 31 Days to Millionaire Marketing Miracles. And I'd written this entire book in 58 days and launched it to #1 on Amazon. And that was a game changer, because when it hit #1, I had an influx of phone calls of people saying, "Can you take me through the book?"
Wow.
What I had done there is I structured the entire internet marketing industry in the order in which it needed to be done in order to create the results that you wanted. Because the internet was like the Wild West. Everybody was saying, if you just do this, it'll work. If you just do that and drive traffic to your site, everything will be great. So everyone was throwing spaghetti on the wall, kind of like what's happening with social media right now. And so when this happened, I made 6 figures in a very short amount of time. And from there, the World Internet Summit contacted me. That was the world's largest organization for internet marketing speakers. And they awarded me New Internet Marketing Success of the Year. And so what's cool about that is I was the first woman to ever win that. And so they flew me, all expenses paid, from California to Singapore to appear on my very first stage in front of 3,400 people. And that launched my speaking career. And so from there, I started to simply travel around the world over and over and over, because the World Internet Summit saw the reaction of the audience to a woman being on stage. Because that was a different energy. That was a softer energy. That was somebody who was there to care, not there to shove products down your throat. And so they picked me up, and so for 5 years I was the only woman traveling around the world with 15 other men. And that paved the way again for women to start to appear on the stage. And so I started to become the #1 woman speaker in the world for internet marketing, because I was the only one. And so from there, things just really started to move along. And I started to get myself on TV over and over and over and over, until last year I reached 20 million people alone. And from there, now I've spoken in over 35 countries. And one of my very favorite places on earth that I spoke, and I was talking to somebody earlier about this, was when I went to Kuwait to open up the very first women's business center, because they were never allowed to own a business up until that point. And so from there, they had given me this as part of their gratitude. And so this is something that I haven't taken off since, to always remind me that we are universal, we are global, and we can make a change like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I'm here today to really tell you a couple things, and one of them is you need to play a bigger game. I want you to speak so that you can be heard, and I really want you to reach millions with your message. Is that something you want to do too? Let me hear you say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Let's get ready to play a bigger game. All right, so I can tell you from experience, in order to play the bigger game, you're going to have to go outside of your comfort zone. I know that because I am outside of my comfort zone every day. I am a technology computer geek, could sit at home behind my computer all day long and be really, really happy. In fact, until I was 40 years old, that's exactly what I was doing, right? I was serving the corporations, I was making my millions of dollars, and then I had a wake-up call that said, no, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. And so I had to get out and speak, get out and network, and get out and make a change and be the leader that I was meant to be. Because there's your dreams, just outside of that comfort zone. If they were in the comfort zone, we would all have exactly what we want all the time. And it doesn't work that way. But here's the reality of your comfort zone, really. Is we have compressed ourselves into this box. It's kind of like the Matrix, right? You ever watch that movie? This is the Matrix. And we are kind of playing so small that literally we aren't unleashing the power, the spiritual power that we all possess, simply because, one, we're playing in a comfort zone, and second, we're playing too small in the body. We're not even expanding out. And so this is exactly how we need to start to move it. So why do you really need to, I'll say, understand technology? Because one thing I don't want you to do is actually do it. If you are a holistic dentist and you're a chiropractor and you're a healing agent and you're a body worker, if you get stuck down in the world of technology, you're going to be removing your skills that you were meant to deliver from the planet. And that's why you bring people like me into your life to take all of this off of your plate. And so it is your duty, though, to understand that you can't reach millions. You can reach Beverly Hills, you can reach locally, but you need to be global, because every single skill here is ability to be global, because you're remote healers, you can get on a Skype call, or you can travel to where you need to be. And here's the other reason why, is because it's all about the change agents. Those are the holistic healers, socially responsible, you change boundaries, and you take risks. And so this is the framework of the new society. This is what we need to make it in order to finally crush and kind of move out. As we said, we want G-rated movies. We want violence out of our lives. We want to stop watching the constantly nasty news, whatever CNN is about, right? Because it's just filling us with the chaos and the fear that they want us to play small with. If you keep everybody drugged, if you keep everybody afraid, that's how you can control and create a slave nation. That's exactly, thank you. That's exactly what they're trying to do. And now we have never had a greater time in history, ever, especially because of the internet. They can't shut us down. They can't pull the plug. Even when I was in Dubai, they may have said, you can't use Skype. Well, another technology underground was developed, and we were all communicating when I was in Dubai. And so we are finding our way out. We are no longer going to be hung, burned at the stake, and killed for our skills. And so it's now our time to let them all be free. And when we come together in pockets of communities, like the whole Holistic Chamber with Camille has developed here, these are the types of groups that are going to be the catalysts to all this change. When women in particular were polled and asked, what is important to you right now as a human being? What's on your plate? Here's what their answers were. Clean drinking water, food, healthcare, shelter, education, pride, preservation of the planet. These are the answers we need to hear. How many people here believe in any of these?
How about all of them, Paul?
That's why you're the change agents. We're the change agents. So, we need to know how to automatically attract your ideal client. And this is where knowledge of the internet comes into play. So the very first thing you have to do is identify who is your ideal client. Who is that target market that you need to reach? And you have to get specific. And it's hard sometimes because, hey, I'm a let's say, website developing brander who, kind of can help you launch your vision online. So I could say, that's everybody. Everybody needs this work, right? But when you're communicating with your target market, and you're particularly trying to get it online through Google, they can't find you. You're not going to be found because the words that your target market is searching for will never be located. When you're creating, here's the other reason why you need to identify, is it man or woman? When you're creating the copywriting for your website, for your emails, for all of the material that you're composing, whether it be a flyer, a brochure, anything that you're handing out, if it does not speak to that person, they're going to let it go. It's going to bypass. It needs to resonate when they pick that piece up. And what you have to not worry about is that you're going to miss that other person. But that's okay. We have 7 billion people to choose from. The people that you need in your tribe will exactly pick up this and say, that's me. And so you don't have to worry about the people you're not going to get by getting specific and ultra focused. The other thing you have to think about is, what is the age demographic I'm dealing with? Here's why, right? Talking to a 20-year-old. All the words that a 20-year-old right now use aren't even remotely what we use anymore. Again, I have a 17, 18, and 19-year-old. There's a whole other language going on. And so you have to know that, because again, it has to appear in your promotional materials and online. And here's the ultra reason. If you aren't using the keywords on your website, the keywords in your marketing, the keywords in your blog posts, the keywords in your social media, you won't be found. And so this is why linking back to who's your target audience, now all of a sudden you can place those keywords, you can speak to that pain. Are you having menopausal pain, right? You're not going to ask a man that. That's where you know you're targeting it on a woman. Okay? And so now you know who your market is, and now you're going to use all of the words. You're going to research on Google and find out what are the top 10 things they're complaining about. And then we're just going to use all of that in different places on the website, and that's how Google's going to start to find you when Janet over here is searching because she's having problems. The other thing you want to do is really take a look at what makes you, you. And that's called your unique selling proposition. Every single person has one. It's like your fingerprint. It's like, what can you do that nobody else on the planet can? And again, I think one of my things is I have a holistic viewpoint. You know, I spend probably 27 hours a week on spiritual endeavors, far more almost than I do in my business. Because when I operate from up here, the manifestation occurs a lot faster. And so that's what I do for my clients. I take your vision 5 years from now and we create it online. So that when somebody sees you today, they see the 5-year you. And so we manifest it faster and accelerate the kind of the planetary momentum so that people can start to see, wow, I need this person. I did that when I was a speaker. I do that to my clients. In fact, one client didn't even know that speaking could be a paid proposition. So I rearranged his entire, well, we did, full branding, full website, and I focused on his game. What does he want, right? What do you want? Because that's what your site has to focus on. So I created him as a speaker. 30 speaking engagements within the first 6 months of launch. His entire year was already booked. And so when you put out there who you are, what you are, and develop your unique selling proposition, the thing that only you can be, all of a sudden it creates this momentum, this speed, where somebody says, I need you over practitioner A, B, C, D, E, and F. And the thing though about your unique selling proposition, really hard to get yourself. It's like reading the label from inside the jar. Just to get a visual there. But it is something that you need to take a look at. The third step is to really start to be prepared, which means getting all of those pieces in place that are going to help you to make that quantum leap. One thing I learned really fast, and it helped me to accelerate as fast as I did in the marketplace, was that money loves speed. So the faster you move, because the meshed universe the physical universe is going to constantly be pushing you back, right? That's the force of it all. But if you're moving so darn fast that it can't stop you, that's how you're going to break the momentum and break through. And then you want to prepare for your Oprah moment, whatever your Oprah moment is. Doesn't mean you're going to be on Oprah, right? It's going to be, you are, at the UN receiving your Nobel Peace Prize. That is your Oprah moment, whatever it is and whatever you've manifested.
Magnum
opus.
Magnum opus.
There you go.
It's the ancient term.
That's right.
I think it's in Stockholm.
Yeah, most people, I think because they know her, right? And so what I do too is we take that as part and parcel of what do you want, and we're going to build and manifest those pieces, and we're going to drop them in so that that is almost getting seed planted to the universe. What do you want to achieve? And so again, one of the, I don't think I have them in here, but one of the, an example of not preparing for your Oprah moment is I had one client that was on America's Got Talent semifinals, had no website and no social media in place. 20 million viewers a night could not connect to him. I mean, that was just devastating, right? Now he came to me after, and of course we've built it all out now. We've got the landing page and the branding and all the social media. He already has 15,000 subscribers, which on his YouTube channel, which is now still the aftermath of that moment. But can you imagine if we were ready? We prepared, and how do you prepare? You know your 5-year. We work at your 5-year vision, and we create it today. And then when you get on your Oprah moment, we're ready. We're receiving. We're here now. Here's the other element of being ready for your Oprah moment. Is a lot of times I will go to an event, and I will meet amazing people. We will swap cards, and I'll be like, I can recommend you for a speaking engagement. I have clients for you. We have referrals. We're all excited, right? And what's going to happen, though? We're dressed for success here, but when we go back and see your website, which, trust me, they are going to do that. This is what they're getting. They're getting sites that shock them. They're like, oh, that can't be the same person. These are people that were a corporate leader. I thought she was selling Betty Crocker. I couldn't figure out what she was doing. I thought it was a cake or something. And it doesn't take much to cause a disconnect between you and your target audience. It can be this close. But if there's one little thing that they detect, even though they're not aware of it, like one color could be off. Because a lot of times people will set up a website based on the colors they like. This isn't about you. You're setting that website up based on the colors of your target market expectations. Now the door is wide open. You have 3 seconds to make an impact, and if your websites aren't working for you, they're working against you. So here's an example. You guys are probably going to see him next month. I should show you his live site because you can't see it actually on the small screen. So this was before, right? Constellation healer, top of his game, speaker, leader in the Holistic Chamber. But when you met him here, he was as big as life. And you'll see him next month. He's as big as life. And then you go to that. Are you hiring him? If there's constellation healers side by side by side, you're not going to pick the one that looks like that. You're going to pick the one that impresses you as much as that person who they just met. And so now, he wanted to be a speaker. He wanted to be worldwide. He wanted to be global. And that's the impression we're starting to create. And so now we're taking him to a whole nother level. The other thing I find too is, especially again with holistic healers, is 2 things. One, the languaging you're using is not what Joe Public uses. He would say things like the constellation translational DNA symmetry of something is why you're not happy. And so nobody cares. They just want to know you can fix them.
That's a disconnect.
And there's an immediate disconnect because you've introduced a word they don't understand. And now they're like, oh, now I have more problems than I came with, right? And so now it's up to us to make sure that now the copywriting in the site speaks to the person who is coming in. You got to assume they don't have knowledge of the words you're using. I have to watch that myself, right? I'm using words like landing page all the time, like everybody knows what a landing page is, right? No, a landing page is a one-page website and does only one thing. Ask for your name and your email address in exchange for a gift. But I've been talking about landing pages for 10 years. Landing pages were the catalyst to everything. Landing pages is the reason I became a #1 bestseller. It was the first piece of technology I set up in the internet. And I went off, wrote my book, came back, I had 3,000 subscribers. Guess how come I became #1? Not because I knew anybody, I knew nobody except these 3,000 people that opted in, and I said, if you buy my book today, I'll give you $600 worth of free gifts. And they did. And that's how that Oprah moment occurred for me, simply because I was part of the preparation cycle. And again, here's one of my clients that I talked about. And so here's just some things that he had to say about me. Everybody remember Marion Ross from Happy Days?
Yes.
Okay, so that's his son, her son, Jim. And again, he's just somebody that, what I find with actors is they have their assets strewn all over the internet. IMDb, a piece here, a nice there, a shot here. They have 5 sites, some social media, nothing branded, nothing's cohesive, and it's scattered. And it waters down the brand. And so what I did with Jim is he had like 6 sites, weird names, applied silliness. I mean, I don't even know where he came up with this stuff. And we pulled it around and we raised the profile of Jim Meskimen. And when we did that, within weeks of launching his new site, within weeks of just kind of putting out there that, hey, I am a player too, he booked 3 national commercials and a TV show. So all these things just happened simply because we prepared for an Oprah moment in a way that we said, what do you want? Well, let's put it here today. Then we only have the half a strategy. We've got our brand now, we've got our website, but here's the piece that's missing. And that's the ability to create a tribe. Because there's so many people out there, we only need to deal with the ones right now that are ready to receive our message and are openly ready to contribute to help expand the message, heal themselves, whatever it is that you're facilitating. And so when you create a landing page of people that know you, like you, trust you, and ultimately buy from you. And all we're going to do with that is ask for their name and their email address. And here's what one looks like. Okay, so here's an example. It's holisticnutritionplan.com. You will notice that is not your regular domain name. That's not your regular website. Okay? So the key here is it's a different domain. It's either keyworded or it's snappy. Easy to remember. For example, mine is fastactionresults.com. It is whatever your promise is or something to deal with it. All right? So there's an example. And again, we're really just kind of doing one thing. We're serving that as what's called the front of your funnel. So you're not sending people to your website from social media. You're not sending people to your website from a YouTube video, from a press release, when you go on a telesummit, a webinar. Do not send them to your website. You're wasting your time. Because what happens is, here's your site. It goes in and out, in and out. Here comes the guy. Oh, yeah, look, bounce, gone. Because there's too much for him to consume in that split second that he has. And then they're easily distracted. And even if they came to opt in, let's say you have an opt-in on your master site, which you should, even if he came to do that, he gets so distracted with some video he sees on there as well that he forgets and he's gone. So we do one thing. We structure all our marketing focus to the landing page. Then we control the conversation. You want to go here now? Great. You want to go here now? Good. Okay? And then we have the ability to really pull them into our tribe and serve them much better.
Can I ask a question about that, or can we ask questions at the
Yeah, at the end I'll answer all questions, yeah. Because I just don't know how much time we have.
Okay.
And then step 4, reach millions. Now I talked about it, right? How did I reach millions? How did I reach 20 million people a year? It's done through smart setup of brand and internet, okay? I added a book. In fact, now I have 7 of them. But this is my flagship book. This is the one Wiley Publishing bought from me 2 years ago. And that was a game changer, right? Just kind of, I went from a self-published author to a New York literary agent to them chasing me to buy the rights to the book. speaking, getting out, spreading your word any way that you have to, and TV and publicity. But the first place you need to have is a stable internet. Okay, so now your social media. How does this outreach continue? Because obviously now social media gives us access to the entire planet. The whole 7 or 5 billion and the 3.5 that are on the phone type of thing, it just opened up. So here's the strategy. If you're in a professional arena, like the chiropractors, like the holistic dentist, real estate, all these kind of categories, LinkedIn is your social media of preference. That's where kind of your peers will be, that's where the upper level professionals are. LinkedIn has the most money, finances than all of the others combined, as far as per capita dollar is concerned. And people are used to being professional up there. That's where the corporations are. If you need to penetrate a corporation, they're usually sitting right there for you. Twitter. Twitter is now the instant news feed system of the world. Something happens, it's happened on Twitter or heard by Twitter long before any news station will ever pick it up. This is the beautiful part about having the power now of media in your hands. When you see something awesome happen, guess what you get to do? You get to tell the world about it. We can drown out all the negative stuff if all we do is every time we see something cool, we shoot out a cool video we saw. There was a great video I just saw today on Soul Pancake about giving a compliment. Absolutely, I was like weeping watching this thing. Shoot it out. When something touches you, feed it to the planet, because that means it will touch them as well. Twitter allows you to do that. It allows you to target your pocket niches, okay? So let's say you want to reach out to people who are also spiritual. Well, Oprah Magazine is up on Twitter. All the people following Oprah Magazine, you can go and follow them. You can connect with them. You can see the ones that are in your demographic and say, hi. Twitter is the only social media platform with no barriers. You can go at Oprah. You can go at Tom Cruise. You can go at whatever. And if those people have an account, now they might not be reading it, but that account exists for them and somebody is. The next one is YouTube. Okay, so YouTube is obviously second largest search engine on the planet. Why? Google bought them in 2006. But here's the thing, videos are becoming probably one of the most powerful platforms now. So if you have limited marketing dollars or you're looking to how can I penetrate, you're better to put out a 2-minute video than any other medium right now. So tap into it. But here's the thing, do not put it out if you don't plan on search engine optimizing and keywording it. You're now wasting your time. You're going to have a bunch of video assets that only you and your subscribers will see. The point of the video is that when somebody's asking a question that your video answers, Google sees the keywords, and over here we have a person that says, I have back pain. And Google says, oh, I got a video that will serve perfect. I have back pain. Up goes your video, boom. Now they're coming over and they're seeking out your assistance. Facebook, community building and relationships. So this is where you're connecting, you're creating a tribe, and you're really, this is where you're kind of down in the trenches and you're communicating to them. So I'm on Facebook every single day. Pinterest and Instagram. This is the world where a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you have retail outlets, jewelry, clothing, shoes, anything that restaurants, anything that is visually impactful, then that is your go-to platform. Google+, one of the most neglected right now social mediums out there, but it is also the most powerful. And here's why.
Which one is that? Did you say?
Google+.
Oh yeah, I don't understand that one.
So here's why Google+ is the most powerful social media you need to pay attention to.
Wow.
It's the only one that indexes in Google. So let me demonstrate what I mean by that. You post all day in Facebook, blah, 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 blah. You post one thing in Google, it goes blog, boop, up at the top page, page 1 of Google. I can beat out anybody on any keyword in minutes because of Google+. I will simply out SEO you on your keyword, and I will appear on Google+. I did that to Jim Meskimen as a cute little joke. I beat out everything except IMDb, which is the movie database. Just to show him the power of Google+ and to get him to use it. and now that was the game changer for him. Finally got him to start using it, and now he's got 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. And then last but not least, people and community, other people's networks, like in here, right? You have a network, you have a pool of people. I say, oh, I know people for you, and I know people for you, and I know people that should have your drinks, and I know somebody that needs to be healed. You know, this is still the greatest power. These are our local pockets where all of us can then take our community building online and say, hey, I just saw this awesome, let's say I just saw an awesome speaker. You should check her out, and boom, you do a Facebook, and you tag, and you do things. That's the power of community at this level. And here's the other thing about social media. It is by nature compelled to assist those who are trying to do good in the world. It was the build of the platform for social media. And that is what it can become. And that's why it's so important that you're using it the right way. And you're assisting others to expand their reach through your own. And then so here's what I've done for tonight is I want to make it, and I'm going to stick around for questions for as long as we have, but it's very difficult for me to shove kind of 20 years, 30 years of marketing, 20 years of internet, and 10 years of internet marketing into 30 minutes. And so I've got a 3-day event coming up for those of you who can partake in the 3-day event. And it's April. This is what I'm going to be covering through 3 days. Branding, marketing, your corporate site, your landing page, what you should be saying in your emails and autoresponders, your copywriting, how to create a product that sells, how to use the keywords, all of it. It's 3 days of me taking you through all those pieces. And so it's April 16th, 17th, and 18th. I hold it twice a year, which means if you cannot come to this one, I have my next one coming up in October. So it's generally kind of April and October-ish that I do it every year. And I spend 3 days, and you leave with your online marketing blueprint. So it allows you to create all of the pieces that you need and get a very thorough understanding. Like, because there, I can go down into Twitter, and I can show you how to get your followers. I can go into LinkedIn, and I can show you how to go and find that company you've been wanting to connect with, or how to get that speaking gig. I mean, all of my Middle East speaking engagements came through LinkedIn. People found me there because I have about, 12,500 followers on LinkedIn alone. And so when you start to build that up, and so I can show you so much more on those days. And so I have a special. It's $500 usually for 3 days for the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. I'm doing a $97 that just covers my costs. You get fed twice a day with your snacks and your goodies as well. And again, I can take orders here, but not cash or not money, so I process that off-site. But if this is for you for the first 3, you'll also get a copy of my book. And again, this is $25, so really your ticket is only $77. And so I will take you by the hand for those 3 days. And if you need accelerated methods, I have lots of those too, but this is one where it allows you to, for a very cost-effective amount of money, to allow me to show you everything. So that is all I have. I don't know what our timing's like, but I will take any questions.
We've got about 15 minutes.
Great, questions? Yes.
Me? Okay. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot it.
It was at the landing page section.
Oh, yeah. So, do you need that landing page separate from your website? You buy like a domain name and
Yes.
and it's just a page, or how do you create the actual landing page? Is there a company that does, or is it just?
That's what I create.
Okay.
Yes, now, it doesn't have to be me, there's lots of other people, But again, I don't create just a landing page, I don't create just a website. I take your vision and I create a brand and a marketing strategy that we work through the whole year. So I keep your site
Do you
up.
have to have a landing page for each product, or like
No.
we have skincare, we have cancer, we have Lyme?
Okay, so there's two things there. The first answer is no. All we want right now is the one that's gonna go on the back of your business card. That's your master funnel. Okay, so let's say my master funnel is fast action results, okay? Then, when you wanna hit Lyme disease, or like, I have Lyme disease, or I wonder if I have Lyme disease, or you know what I mean? Or cancer, or this, whatever the subtopics are that are your niche markets, okay? Like I have back pain, or I have lower back pain, or I have sciatica, or I have thrombosis. All of those are keywords, and we search for a domain name based on each of those, you know, as your strategy grows. And so we would do that later. So ultimately, you can have unlimited keyword-based domain names feeding your master system.
Feeding my website?
Well, they will feed different areas. So it would go, let's say you focused in on a generic topic, and then we went like right for Lyme disease, right?
Okay.
So we have a Lyme disease-based domain name. It's all talking about Lyme disease. It's giving a Lyme disease-based gift, like 5 ways to detect if you have Lyme disease, okay?
Right.
Or the 5 hidden horrors of Lyme disease, or whatever we want to do to get them in that funnel. And then they'll go to a download page, a thank you page, and that thank you page will specifically address what they need to, and you're going to now communicate. You're going to say, hey, if this is what you're experiencing, you should go look at boom, and you're going to send them straight to a page on your master website now, and that master page will be all about Lyme disease, because you want to keep their attention as focused as possible.
So I have to tell my bosses, like, I mean, we're just using our website like everybody else, so.
Yes.
I just have to explain that we should be doing all our marketing for a landing page.
It's not, I won't say all your marketing, I don't know if we have a pen, but
Yeah.
I won't say all your marketing, but a large percent. Like, an example of what I do, I have 700 domains. 370 of them are landing pages. Why do I have that? Because I am pulling from business type A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I am targeting the pain that every single specific, what's the pain of a real estate agent? What's the pain of a chiropractor? What's the pain of a dentist?
But that's what I'm saying, is
Yes.
every pain a landing page?
In a way, yes. It's the button that they're searching for.
Okay, and then that, so I might have to have, I might have to have 100 landing pages, is that correct?
Yes, but here's the thing. Don't overwhelm, don't run down the path. Get one proven, working, understood, and get the autoresponder, what's called the email sequence in place that serves that. And then once you understand the technology wholly,
Right.
run. Yes, so then it becomes the yes.
1 second.
Yes.
I wanted to tell you, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, she's
I'm
great.
very apologetic because I'm a board of director. I just called him and said, no, I'm waiting, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's just wonderful. You're going to have a wonderful job. We're going together for Olympic. I mean,
yeah.
the right time is coming, you know.
Yeah.
It's amazing. When you do it the right direction, all different poems, you come together.
Yes.
The first time in history, this morning announced that we're going to Athens celebrate with some amazing people, and I want to again thank you, Dr. Allen. Have a great evening.
Yes,
and I still apologize for I don't
No
make this.
problem, totally.
Connect you to the landing page?
Yes.
If I have a book, can I put that on the landing page?
Yes.
The name of the book as a
Yes.
donate, and then
Yeah.
if it goes to an email, so that I can collect email addresses
Yes.
for that?
Yes.
And then to, then that would be to my,
Yes. So an example, if you want to write this down, if you want to see book landing pages in action, there is just31days.com. That's a book landing page. So this is specific, because what happens there is you want to keep it focused on that and the buy of the book, right? So this is where a product-oriented landing page comes into play. Another one is Start Right Marketing. Boom, landing page specifically designed for the book, and then you opt in, and then you go and get the book. okay?
Should you give a gift on the landing page? Some
Yes,
kind of- okay,
yes,
10
so
minute,
you offer
whatever.
the gift, you
Uh-huh.
get them in, you tell them, if you opt in, and then buy the book, I will give you a whole bunch of gifts.